Addison Rae's first and last studio record under her full name, Addison, is out. We've come a long way from her attempt at a pop career with Obsessed. Addison has scored herself a sleeper hit with Diet Pepsi and the love of chronically online girls and gays with her stellar run of singles. So the big question is this album good? And the answer is yes. You know the drill. I'm going to talk about the record, its themes, and do a track-by-track review before giving it a final score. So let's go. Rebranding Addison. Addison Rae's rebrand from TikTok debutante to bona fide pop star has been interesting. Her music first caught my attention through a series of leaks that eventually led to her first EP, AR, even featuring her fairy godmother and mentor, Charlie XCX. Charlie herself had a Cinderella moment last year with Brat smashing last year, putting Addison on the map with her now iconic remix of Von Dutch. But Addison herself is cooking up her own hits, signing with Columbia Records and releasing dream pop smash, Diet Pepsi. Diet Pepsi hit the top 10 in the UK and even peaked at 54 in the States, marking interest and giving Addison her first real success. You'd imagine that she'd follow it up with some soulless redo, but instead she dropped Aquamarine, a dance pop siren's call more ray of light than modern pop. While that song didn't chart well, it built up her street cred even more so with an Arca remix. It became clear to me that Addison's approach to pop was more focusing on her strengths and building a fan base through quality music than just chasing another radio or TikTok hit. The album itself is very cohesive and flows well because it was designed that way. It's not a grab bag of singles. Addison enlisted Elvira Anderfjord and Luca Closer, acolytes of pop-producing giant Max Martin, to co-write and co-produce this record. All three share credits working across the world and even in Martin's headquarters in Sweden to formulate Addison, a project that front to back tells the story of rebirth, exploration, and youthful discovery through Addison's lens. It was heavily inspired by Madonna's Ray of Light, and the Korg M1 synthesizer serves as a backbone for the record. Addison would go on to release 3 more singles, High Fashion, Headphones On, and Fame Is a Gun, each containing their own corresponding visual. High Fashion itself was a turning point for the critical community, realizing that Addison wasn't a fluke, and Headphones On continuing on that hot streak. Time Out has even listed Headphones On as the second best song of 2025 so far. Honestly, Addison's focus on the music community of critics and insiders is really smart. It's a smart version of what Charlie herself did with the mixtapes way back when. Those worried that too many singles would take away from the short and sweet 12-track record with 2 interludes shouldn't be worried. The unreleased tracks are on the same level as the singles, possibly even better. Summer Forever, the second longest track on the record, might actually have the most hit potential, channeling a sunnier spiritual counterpart to Diet Pepsi. Album opener New York channels the most Brat energy, while dissipating to Addison's more gentle and ethereal tones. This record feels like one of the few records that actually takes Y2K influences and wears them well, rather than really just feeling like cosplay of something better. It embraces wonky song structures and the flow of that time period. In the Rain, one of my favorite deep cuts, is a ballad that evokes Blue Six and Thievery Corporation. Much like the closer Headphones On, this album shines through headphones and taking a walk. The album's production is immaculate. Each track feels distinctly unique through its synths and usage of drums. All the melodies are well formed, taking precedence over Addison's more vibey, abstract lyrics. The hooks are really the instrumental, and Addison's well aware, channeling her voice as a bridge to let the listener let go. One thing that I will give Addison is that she's extremely aware that she's not the strongest vocalist. Instead, she and her team have built around her pleasant tone and existing strengths, making the music feel distinctly Addison without feeling like an imitation of someone greater. It's refreshing seeing someone play to their strengths rather than try to be something they're not. Lastly, I did not realize that this album was a story until the last 3 tracks, From Times Like These to Headphones On. She has to kill her ego, jealousy, fear of her parents' divorce, and own up to the karmic depths ahead. Addison reins it in, revealing that this album was kind of a diary of thoughts before closing the chapter on her coming of age, chasing highs, and learning to let go. But I'll talk about it more in the track by track. The album opens on New York, an ode to the city that feels free like her religion. She notes that LA may be home, but she wants to use New York as an escape for herself. The pre-chorus has her table set a vibe. Black cars, the Bowery, going to the club. The production resembles club classics from Brat intentionally, but with Addison's sort of lens and polish. It almost feels like a shout out to Charlie, but also her taking another route and coming into her own. Then we get Diet Pepsi, a track that hews closer to earlier Lana Del Rey, fitting considering the New York setting. This track sees her talk about a lustful escapade, teenage love, the Americana through the lens of Levi jeans and Diet Pepsi itself. It's a siren's call that sees Addison navigate nostalgia, pure passion, and how short-lived it all is. It feeds into the album's whole motif of escapism itself. It is a beautifully written and performed track that sees Addison really play to her strengths rather than attempt to fight her shortcomings. Money is Everything brings us down to earth. The opening intro sees her point out that her mama raised her to save money and to never rely on a man, but then she flips it saying, "Can't a girl have fun?" The chorus is infectious and borderline hyperpop, seeing her say that money is everything, diamonds are her best friend, even name-dropping Marilyn Monroe's real name. The sole verse has her name drop her icons, Madonna, Lana, Gaga, before calling out that she's always been the girl that she's been inside. We see another set of choruses that eventually break down into this fun, euphoric joy. "I'm the richest girl in the world" is a nod to Titanic and a cheeky declaration that she has everything she needs. Aquamarine is a pure dance pop track taking its title from the 2006 movie. It's a sequel to Diet Pepsi thematically in that it sees Addison call to her lover to dive into her and the lust. The choruses are short and punchy. "The world is my oyster, baby come touch the pearl" is just a quote-worthy, corny, but earnest call. The refrain and the way that her voice really blends into that shimmering instrumental like an echo on the water, the "Give Me Mores," it's just such an impeccably designed song. The production is rich, aquatic, and it's just perfect for the subject matter. Lost and Found is the first interlude, and it marks a midway point for Addison's journey, calling to the driver to drive off. High Fashion sees her pay homage to Britney Spears sonically. This song sees her contemplate the highs of buying expensive clothes and rejecting the highs of drugs instead for the thrills of the Hollywood superstar life. The lyric, "When it comes to shoes, I'll be a slut," is a very cheeky line considering its use of the iconic red slippers of Oz in the music video. She contrasts the cheap thrill of throwaway love to her materialistic streak, which drives her to choose the artificial life. The bridge itself feels like an answer to Britney Spears' iconic pre-chorus from Toxic, while the instrumental ironically goes hazy towards the end to evoke the feeling of being high. Again, it's a very intentional and cool production choice from Addison and her team. Summer Forever is the closest thing to a ballad on this record. I see it smashing in the future. It's very familiar to Diet Pepsi and Construction. It almost feels like a light mode to that song's dark mode. The song is the prettiest on the record in terms of production and Addison's tone. It's borderline Lana Del Rey cosplay, but Addison manages to make it her own, especially towards the end. The pre-chorus feels like a proper wind-up as she recalls the joy of summer love, while the chorus is a standout. All of that charge mania gets let loose as she extols the joy that her lover gives her, while the bridge gives us a moment to rest as she takes us home on that heavenly chorus one last time. This song actually resembles the album cover to me. In the Rain right after is genius. It's a 2000s era slow jam that lets her get vulnerable. This track is about getting knocked down by accusations of being fake, the family drama, everything just blocking her from the fame. In terms of lyrics, this is the least ambitious track, opting for repetition and relying on her vocals and the production to tell the story. The piano keys in the back give it an organic backbone, but the star has to be the drums that carry the song. Fame as a Gun feels like a sister track to Sympathy as a Knife. This track sees Addison brandish fame as a weapon. She's shooting in the dark, unaware of what she'll hit, just aware that she wants fame and will do anything for it. She has had the taste of the high life. She's the dream girl, but we're not her type. She knows that we're watching her every move. The way that she sings on the post-chorus actually reminded me of Electra Heart Marina melodically. It kind of sounds like a modern bubblegum bitch. But what I love is that the bridge recontextualizes the song, mentioning that her addiction is being loved by us. It adds a dimension of self-awareness to the track. Life's No Fun Through Clear Waters is a final interlude that kind of sets up Headphones On. Headphones On as the closer is a genius move. It's a triumphant declaration that she's just gotta accept the pain and the good in life. Interpolating What I Am by Eddie Brickell, it makes sense. This is Addison accepting who she is. This is her accepting herself as a pop star, one that some see as vapid, one who is loved by others, a girl who has seen her parents' love fall apart, a girl who just wants to make sense of the world. But the day of understanding is just not today. Instead, she puts on her headphones and listens to her favorite song, Life's No Fun Through Clear Waters. The outro sees her dance until the wheels fall off, accepting that she's an addict to joy, dance, and light. She is reborn. She is Addison. All in all, this record might not hit for everyone, but I found myself loving this record. The production is top notch, the lyrics do a good enough job to underscore who she is, but the effort, I see it. 6 visuals for a debut album, a well thought out release strategy. I'm all in for whatever Addison has next. I'm glad to award this debut a stunning 8.8 out of 10. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in to my quick review of Addison. I am so sorry if I've been delayed with other videos. I've been sick, as you can hear on this video. That's why my voice sounds a little bit different. Sorry, guys. Let me know what your favorite track was on the record, how you feel about Addison Rae. A shout out to my members. Thank you so much for taking that extra step and joining my channel. A shout out to my subscribers. I love you guys. I have a couple of more videos ready for you guys. I'm going to review Princess of Power by Marina. I also owe you guys a Miley Cyrus review and an analysis as to why the era fell apart. So yeah, I'm still recovering. Give me some time. I will see you guys very soon.